opening up the second call as a confirmation call, more or less getting a consent, not selling or not pitching, I am setting it up in a way where they're not going to be guarded. And so when I start my pitch call, it sounds like this. It sounds like, hey Jim, this is Daniel. I'm actually working on the disclosures now. I'm getting ready to send it out to your Gmail account. And I found something. I wanted to get your feedback first. I have an idea. Is Mrs. Jim there? Can you throw me on speakerphone? I want to run this by both of you just to make sure that when I release it, at least it's tailor fit. And I had an idea. I want to run it by both of you guys. And of course, you're going to say, yeah, what's up? But notice how when you start your call this way, you actually have them in full attention. Because who doesn't want to hear about an idea, right? Not only that, but they're not guarded. And so it's far more effective to start your pitches this way, regardless, again, of what you're selling, rather than starting your pitch of, hey Jim, this is Daniel. I got a couple options. If you have a pen and paper, I can go through that with you now. First option is gonna have no fees. Second option is gonna have more fees. It's gonna be expensive, but blah, 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 blah. And so you're actually setting them up to be on defense. And that's okay, if that's the way you're doing it, don't feel dumb. It's just the way that you probably thought was the right way. And so I'm showing you a new way, a more efficient way to kind of mount them up, and frame them properly. And so when you open it up this way and you go over your idea and they put you on speakerphone, now you have to frame both of them. You have to frame both of them and bring back all of their wants, their desires, their fears. And when I say the desires, what I'm talking about is the results that they want. And then at the same time, drop in a couple hints of fear by explaining what will happen if they don't do something. So if they don't utilize the solution that you have an idea about, then we have to magnify the problem, right? We have to magnify and paint out a worst case scenario. And when we do it this way, now we have a way to transition into our idea and say, yeah, because you had mentioned it was important for you to create savings because right now you have a monthly deficit. It's not enabling you to pay anything more than your minimum payment on your credit cards. You mentioned that your main focus was to use this house as a stepping stone. You're going to be moving in the next 5 years. Whatever applies to them. And say, because you had mentioned that that's important, as I was putting together the disclosures, I found something and I want to run it by you because I believe that this will achieve your goal at a faster pace, saving you time and ensuring that you're positioned properly for when the next step comes. Let me explain. What I can do is, and this is your pitch, this is when you're going into your pitch, but it's important that you explain the results first. You don't go over and say, well, my idea was that I can put you on an arm. It's a 3.5, it's fixed for 3 years, but it does this, 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 and this. Remove that delivery timing, or that kind of the way it's being delivered. Instead, you want to point out this and magnify and expose the results and say, so what I can do ultimately is take your payment from here, drop it down from here, give you 1 month payment deferral, give you your escrow refund back, put a little cash in the bank. And ultimately what you can do is keep that as reserves within the next 12 months because we're paying off this debt, because we're creating this surplus, because we are positioning you properly in the next 12 months. So you should be here with your FICO score, you should be here with your assets. And if you do this right, you will be in position to more flexibility, more cash flow, more asset accumulation. And this actually helps you achieve your goal, but at a much faster pace. And so I wanted to run it by you because this is ultimately what it comes down to. For this payment, this monthly savings, I can cover your costs. But since you're deferring your mortgage payment and since you're getting an escrow refund, technically, if you didn't do the refinance, you would have to pay that. And so you wouldn't get that influx of cash anyway. But my idea is if you use that influx of cash, it'll give you the option to get this lower payment because you're not financing your costs, you're technically accounting for them. But needless to say, there's no out-of-pocket cost besides the appraisal in which I can get that return back to you at the time of closing through escrow. My motive here is to show you how to create a stepping stone to get to the level where you want to be faster and much safer. And this is how. First off, let me ask you, how's that monthly payment? How's that savings? And then you start going over the benefits. Oh yeah, I love it. I love the plan. What does this consist of? Well, what this consists of is a short-term mortgage, meaning that you're just going to use it for the next 12 months. Again, this is your stepping stone. And so after 12 months, we'll revisit the situation. At that time, you'll have a stronger FICO, stronger asset balance, and also a stronger equity position. And so ideally, after you have X amount of dollars in the bank, after you have your FICO up here, then we can talk about actually shortening the term of your loan. If not, position you more favorably for when it comes time to sell this house, you're going to maximize your qualification potential for your next home. And so here's the thing, I need to confirm first that I can even deliver this to you. So there's a few things I need to validate. I'll email you a quick checklist of the items. Once I confirm that you can proceed, we're very fast, it's very convenient, it's pretty automated, and so the process is super quick and super smooth. But before I can even open that door, I need to make sure that I can open it. And so the keys is that I need these documents. And so you're listing off your steps, right? You're not giving them a full package. You're always reminding them, because you want to make it seem as easy as possible. So you're not going there and saying, write this down. 2 years of tax returns, all pages, all bank statements, all pages. You know, it just seems like a lot. And you're telling them to write things down. And then as they write it down, they're like, this is a lot of documents. You don't want that sensation. You don't want that feeling right then and there, because you're giving them an out to say, yeah, well, I'm never going to get to this. You're giving them a reason to say no.